Oh, okay.
Is that okay? That I can see Dr. Trojan and Mr. Nelson. We'll go in high tech. I want to be able to see you as I'm talking, so I'll just size this in.
Just one question, where the microphone is on the thing?
The best microphone we have, yes.
Okay, so,
Can we? I'm blinded.
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Just put
oh,
the,
can you?
Oh,
Thank you.
good.
Blinded by the light.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Okay. I'll meet the North Reading School Committee to order for Monday, October 27th. And our first order of business tonight is public input. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on any matter at this time for the committee? Okay. Seeing nobody. First, I'd like to thank the high school for having us tonight on our second world tour. We did this last year, and I think the high school was our first stop last year also. And we found it great to get out to the schools and hear a little bit about what's going on at each school. We get our high school student reports at every meeting from the student reps, but it's always good to get out and hear some of the projects and programs that are going on at the school, both from the staff and from the students. So thanks for having us tonight. Our first order of business is our student report, and we have Chrissy Smith, who is a member of the class of 2010.
So to start off the student report is the senior night was last Friday for both girls soccer and volleyball. Volleyball last Friday won Cals, and soccer has games tomorrow. Both male and female soccer has games tomorrow against Linfield to see if they can clinch the Cal title also. In the high school, they did a mock presidential election, and the results haven't been given out yet.
What are the polls indicating?
Do you know what the trends are?
The exit polls.
The exit polls?
No.
Thursday night, Interact is holding an open gym with EMARC. Student Council is sponsoring a can drive for the food pantry. The Fantastics is a musical that the Maskers are in progress with right now, and it's November 21st and 22nd. The AP Calculus class is going to BU Tuesday for a math field day. NRHS received the MIAA Sportsmanship Award. SAD is doing a Drive Safe campaign. And Powder Puff teams are getting ready to have their Powder Puff game on, I think it's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving break, and that's junior versus senior girls. And the Veterans Day Assembly is Monday, December 10th. And for the Student Works project, I'm going to talk about my performance in advanced placement theater. And what the project was an animal transformation. And what that entailed was basically we picked a monologue from whatever we wanted, and then we read over those monologues, memorized the monologues, and then picked an animal that went along with that monologue. And we had to do a 5-minute animal transformation in that animal. And basically what it was like getting us to do is not really, for monologues, not really talk like just with our head, but use our body and express emotion through our movement on stage. And I picked a monologue from Romeo and Juliet, and it was Juliet's monologue about Tybalt and Romeo, and it was kind of like a sad monologue, so I picked like a cat, an older cat, and I had to actually for 5 minutes on stage act like a cat and then transform into a human being. And with like being that human, I had to use my cat-like kind of qualities and express that monologue with those cat-like features. So I cried kind of like a cat, I moved kind of like a cat, and also like things I did. I know that movement, like pacing and stuff on stage expresses weakness. So since I was crying, that was kind of like a weakness I had, so I paced on stage, while other people had more, like I know one of my friends was a lion, so she stood still and kind of commanded the stage. So by standing still, it was more like conveying strength. So it was a really cool exercise, and that was the most interesting thing we've done thus far in school. What class is that? Advanced theater. It's really interesting.
Any questions for Chrissy?
That's different.
Thanks, Chrissy. I also, before we get to Mr. Bernard, I believe the volleyball, the field hockey team also was awarded the Cal Sportsmanship Award. I heard that from one of the coaches the other day. And maybe John can, I think the MIA award is pretty impressive. And yeah, so that's pretty impressive award. Thanks, Chrissy. Okay, next we have Mr. John Bernard. He's going to give us an overview of what's going on at the high school and anything else he wants to touch on.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having us tonight. And welcome to the high school for your school committee meeting. I do have a number of introductions, some by way of the presentations that will be made to you tonight. We have a number of them, but I do want to just at the outset thank everybody, students and staff, and also we have a couple of guests. The consultant we've been working with in our Student Leadership Academy, Mr. Dana Holt, he's here, and also Mrs. Kathy Santilli and Mrs. Cindy Pacino, the co-presidents of our Parents Association. I'd like to, at the outset, thank them all for making the time to be here tonight to showcase some of the many good things that are going on at the high school. It seems as though when I'm before you in the past, I seem to always be asking for things. I'm asking for you to take a look at our program of studies, to approve that, take a look at our handbook, seeking your approval of that. Well, tonight really is an opportunity for us to give back to you, and we have several presentations, a couple of PowerPoint presentations, and some things that I think you'll enjoy and also find to be very interesting. For my portion of tonight, the presentations that I'd like to make to you under the title of so-called Principals Report, I thought I would update you on some of the new courses that we're running this year. Last spring I had come to you. I think the meeting at that time was held at the Little School. You were on part of World Tour #1, and there we approved the introduction of Probability and Statistics as an honors level math course. I'm happy to tell you that that course is running. We are running 2 sections of that this year, so I think inherent in that is the fact that it became a very popular math elective for students. The novel writing course, we had to cap the enrollment at 30. There are 30 upperclassmen that are enrolled in novel writing. They're working very diligently in our computer lab on their budding novels. So again, it turned out to be a very popular and I think a very worthwhile elective for us to offer to our sophomore and junior students. You might remember that we made a change to one of the modules in the freshman seminar. This year we're offering a public speaking module as one of the 4 modules of the freshman seminar. So all of our freshman students will cycle through the 4 modules of freshman seminar, and this year for the first time they're introduced to a public speaking one. And that came from actually some interest that was expressed through our original Student Leadership Academy trainings, where students felt as though they had not been equipped with some of the skills that they needed to be effective public speakers. So we're hoping that that's going to change for them, for students now, starting with our freshman class. And while it's not a new course, it is in its 2nd year. You might remember we offered a standardized test prep course last year for the first time in 2007-2008. Well, I'm happy to tell you that that course has gained popularity for our junior students. This year we are running 2 sections of it. We had great interest, and I'm hoping that we will see the results of that course benefit our students in the way of achievement on the ACT and the SAT exams. So that's just a little bit of an update for you on some of our courses that are being offered here new to the high school. Again, just in the way of information for you, I think it's important for you to know some of the programs that we're offering to students beyond the normal curriculum, so to speak. On September 29th, we hosted a very worthwhile, very moving presentation for our junior and senior students called The Invisible Children. And this is something that came out of our students' participation at a NEMASC conference. That's a Student Council Regional Conference last spring. Students saw a presentation on The Invisible Children. They were excited about it. They thought it would be a good thing for our students here in North Reading to see. And I'm happy to say that under the support and sponsorship of our Student Council, particularly one student by the name of Paul Burdett. Paul's a senior. He took the lead on bringing the Invisible Children program here And, you know, I would hope that the junior and senior students behind me and everyone in the junior and senior class, I think the reaction to that was very moving. It was very overwhelming. It was about the plight of young people in the country of Uganda. And it really, I think, hit a chord with a number of our students and staff. On November 20th, we have Travis Roy coming to North Reading High School for an evening presentation for the community, for students and their parents. For those of you who may not know who Travis Roy is, about a dozen or so years ago, he suffered a life-changing injury. He broke his neck and was paralyzed from the neck down in his first 11 seconds of a hockey game where he was playing for Boston University. And since that time, he has gone on a speaker circuit. He was here at North Reading in 2005. He's a published author. His book, 11 Seconds, has been on our summer reading list in the past. When he came and spoke to students in a daytime presentation in 2005, it was, again, a very moving presentation, very powerful about how sometimes one doesn't get dealt the cards that one thinks they might, and how to move on when adversity confronts you. So we're looking forward to having Travis come back on November 20th. That's a program being sponsored by our Parents Association. Core Trainings is the company that we have used for the last couple of years for our Student Leadership Academy and now our Student Leadership Academy and Mentoring Program. And Dana Hult is here tonight. He's going to address you as part of the what the kids have called the SLAM presentation, Student Leadership Academy and Mentoring. We're seeking Dana and his wife Deb, who are partners in the company Core Trainings, to do a freshman-sophomore assembly tentatively scheduled for December 5th on self-esteem building. So that's something that we have coming up, looking forward to. Again, just in no particular order of priority, just as on my list of things that I'd like to update you on over the summer, and I believe, Mr. Webster, you, as the chair of the school committee, you received a copy as well. We received a very favorable letter from the New England Association of Schools and Colleges. It's the accrediting agency that accredits high schools in New England, and that letter, again, I think was very favorable. We have continued our accreditation. There are, I believe, 3 remaining recommendations for us to address in a follow-up report that's due by me in March of 2009, but they are things that I certainly feel very comfortable in our ability to be able to address without any real great concern. So it's just nice to know, and I think it's nice for the community and the taxpayer to know that North Reading High School stands strong in its continued accreditation. Mr. Webster, you mentioned about the Sportsmanship Award, and also Chrissy, thank you for acknowledging that North Reading High School did receive just last week the District A Sportsmanship Award. That's a very prestigious selection. We are one of 59 schools in the District A that received that award as a school, so it's really not rooted in any one particular team. It's just basically the whole effort that goes on across the board in our athletic program, and I think there's a lot to be said for that recognition and the work that our coaches do and our students and how they respond to our expectations of what it means to be a good sport in participation in athletics. And as a school, we will be recognized on November 21st at a sportsmanship summit at Gillette Stadium. It's the 3rd year that North Reading High School will be represented there, and I think it's a nice honor for this community. Before I get into talking a little bit about the near future, I do want to acknowledge that we have a celebrity in the midst in some respect. We have our assistant principal, Mr. Rosmerick, is going to be in California the beginning of next week auditioning. He is going to, excuse me, not auditioning, taping a show. He's going to be contestant on Jeopardy. And yes, so that has been... It has been quite the buzz for about 4 weeks now. So we're very excited for him. He's expecting the show to be airing at the end of December, early January, so we'll certainly keep you posted on when it will air so that you can all tune in. And he's made a lot of promises around his prize money and where it's going to go. So we're all hoping that he's going to be on for more than just one show. But I certainly want to, on behalf of all of us at the high school, wish Mr. Rosmerick good luck. So that's another little bit of good news. And I think just in closing for my report, I would just like to acknowledge the support of the school committee, certainly of Mr. Nelson and Dr. Troughton, and really of the community of North Reading in providing us with some additional staffing for 2008-2009, which has made For those of us that